So I have a friend that works in cybersecurity, and last Thursday we had a conversation about how we're like one, sick and tired of websites requiring us to submit our ID to do things, and two, talking about how ridiculous of an idea it is that we are just giving out this information so freely and so often to all kinds of companies. Even the big one too is like my social security number. It is out in so many people's hands right now just because I have to have it to do things. Like whenever it comes to jobs and stuff, they always need your number. And it becomes a problem whenever you're submitting this stuff online. I had another conversation also a couple days ago with another one of my friends who, I live in Texas. HEB is a big company here. And like the only way to apply to work at HEB is to do it online. And in a lot of places, the only place to apply is online. And a lot of these, workplaces have their own proprietary website and, means of procuring your information in order to properly hire you. And on that form is where you'd put in your social security number or submit your photo ID. Like my most recent example that I've been putting off and neglecting for so long because I just don't want to do it is providing Roblox with my identification so that I can use voice chat on there. And I completely understand why they would need to do something like that so that you can protect minors and you don't have children having access to the voice chat and getting all out, which unfortunately, despite how much they try, it still happens. The Roblox, any voice chat game is still full of children. This has just, in my opinion, become such a huge thing now where to do so much stuff online, you need to give out your face, your age, your, in a lot of cases, driver's license, or even extreme cases, social security number. And if I'm gonna be real, I don't want to do that. I don't trust 99% of places that I'm giving this information to, that you're not going to store it, that you are going to delete it, that there is no middleman between me and where the data is going. I don't trust any of it because I've seen time and time again data leaks that include my information. Luckily, it's not been anything crazy like this important stuff that I'm talking about, to my knowledge. To my knowledge, there isn't. If there is, I wouldn't know. Like credit card companies have data leaks more often than they really need to. Other times, I think there was an investment platform a while back that I either used or considered using. I don't remember what it is. I have to change all my passwords and stuff all the freaking time because there's just data leak after data leak. Let me check right now actually to see if I have any compromised passwords. Well, look at that. I guess I gotta change that one. Google found another data leak with some of my passwords. One of my passwords. Anyways, it's such a big issue, right? I don't want to be giving this information out freely all the time. And we were just talking, me and him, we were talking about how it's crazy that it's such a common thing now that people are doing all the time and that it's requested and just given. And this is all it can lead to some horrible stuff. There's not a ton of things that you need to impersonate someone, especially online. Whenever, for a lot of this verification stuff, all you really need is a picture of your driver's license or your face, name, date of birth, all those things. And so that kind of leads me to what I'm talking about today. There's this app that's been exploding on the App Store that's resulted in kind of what feels like a little bit of a gender war again. It's this app here called the T app, and basically what it is, it's like a reverse dating profile, if I could describe it. It's basically it's a women-only app, and all the women on the app have free reign to post photos and descriptions and reviews of men that they've dated or had bad experiences with to show off the red flags of these men for potential people who are looking to date them. So that it's kind of like the little girls group chat where they can talk about the problems that might be had with these men so that you can kind of avoid them. Now I'm going to get back into the data security stuff in a second, but this is just in my opinion, an awful idea. Of course, I'm a guy, right? So coming from a guy's perspective, as a woman, it might be a little bit easy to write off what I'm trying to say as, oh, he's just a guy. But even if there was a platform like this just for men, I would still think it's absolutely disgusting. Because what this is it gives a public forum where you can just talk behind someone's back and say whatever you want. And in almost all circumstances, you know that they're not going to see it. And even if you did, it would be you would be anonymous. The guy that you're slandering doesn't know that it's you, and he doesn't know that, in a lot of cases, he doesn't know that all this stuff is being said about him. So even like if the app is used for its purpose, its intended purpose, used truthfully and trustfully all the way through, that's good, right? What's the word I'm trying to say here? A platform where you can like truthfully say things that are an actual problem with an individual so that others can avoid that individual isn't like a bad thing, in my opinion, because in some cases there are just some really bad things that you might want to avoid, because there are some patterns that are very often repeated and not often broken that maybe I as an individual might want to know about. And even like from my perspective, right? If I'm dating someone and they're reading through this stuff about me, whatever may or may not be on there, and they choose they don't want to be in a relationship because of that, fine, leave. I don't want to be in a relationship with you either. If you're going to rely on like public reviews about me, on who I am as a person, rather than your own perspective of me, leave. And this may just be because I don't commonly like trust reviews for anything, really. Like if I see a game or a movie or like an item that I want to buy with like 1 star, and I can look at the item and go, I mean, it looks like it's going to do what I want it to do, and I buy it and it does what I want it to do, I'm not going to give it a 1 star. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. I knew it was going to be low quality. I wanted it to be low quality. I got it low quality and it did what it was supposed to do. I don't care. And so if I'm going to be real, like, the app has its place, and a place like this, there is a need for it, but you have to do it in a way that's like, you can't make up things that aren't real. And I know from a lot of people who've like made their way into the app, like guys who've made their way into the app who like aren't supposed to be there. I guess I can't say I know for sure, because it's also like a he said, she said situation, but I've seen so many instances of guys being like, this didn't happen. This isn't real. I know who this person is, and this didn't happen. Why is it here? Which really just kills the whole purpose of the app and makes it an unreliable platform to get this, like, in a lot of cases, important information, which is why I can say, like, it was just done wrong. The app was just done wrong. And it of course, as the name says, it's the tea app. It's like the gossip app. In a lot of cases, you know, gossip just doesn't turn out very well. And that's just how it is. That's just how it is. But that's not necessarily what we're here to talk about. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents about what the thing is as a whole. What actually happened is, because of this whole, like, women only, you can say whatever you want, it's not really vetted. A lot of guys didn't like that. A lot of guys did not like that. And especially a certain group of people who exist on the 4chan website. If you know anything about the 4chan website, you might understand what kind of people hang out around here. And something that dropped on the 4chan website, a little nice little thing, and I'm going to hopefully blur out the photo IDs that are sitting on the screen right now, and hopefully blur them out through the rest of the video and don't miss anything. They downloaded, like, everything on this app. There is, and I'm going to see if it's even been touched yet, there is a 60 gigabyte torrent file, or magnet, whatever, there's a 60 gigabyte download of, like, all the data on the website. Or, I mean, all the data on the app that unfortunately no one's seeing right now. I was really curious. I wanted to download it and see what was in there, but I couldn't get my hands on it because no one's seeing it, so I can't download it. But essentially, the app was disgustingly insecure. I downloaded it just to see how like the registration process went, and essentially you put in like your name, your information, and then you get, like, you know, your username or whatever, and then you submit your like photo identification so they can ensure that you're a woman. And on that page it said, give us a photo for a second, let us look at it, and then we'll delete it right after. We're not going to hang on to this, we're going to get rid of it. They didn't. They did not. They kept, as far as I'm aware, every single photo that was fed into this app for whatever reason. Like, there is genuinely no good reason for them to keep any of this data. Like, there isn't one. There is not. All you need is the photo to look at it and go, okay, cool, yeah, you are the gender that we are allowing on this app. Come on in. And then you delete it, and then you're done. You have marked the profile as the right one, and then you don't need that data anymore. You've given it the tag. It's good. It's good to go. There's no reason to save any of this data. And I don't know if it's like different for like maybe like different between an iPhone and an Android or something for whatever reason, or if it's like state-based where, because it's all the data that came out was from the US, at least to my knowledge. So it might even be like a US only app. I don't know. But for some reason in this leak, it's not just photos of people's faces. All I was asked for was a picture of my face, but there are so many government ID documents in this leak. For some reason, I have absolutely no clue who was asked for a photo of their face and decided to take a picture of their driver's license and release that publicly. I have absolutely no clue why that would happen. Maybe it came after like the face photo. They would ask for a photo of my driver's license. I don't know. I didn't get that far. I wasn't concerned at all, really. I was just looking at it to see like if it would say anything about where my data was going, who was processing my data, anything about it. And so maybe after the photo is where the government ID comes from, and which is what leads to this next situation, right? Because in addition to the leak with all of the photos of all of the people who are on the app, they also leaked their home address. This is a countrywide map of all of the users from the app, all the ones that leaked, or at least the ones that they had the addresses of. As you can see on this one, there's 20,000 pins on this Google map. They had to split it, so there's a second one, an additional 13,000. And if you just zoom in on any random spot, we're gonna dox this random person. You can zoom right in on their home address. Every single one of these pins is the home address of someone who used this app. And like the data hasn't been compiled into one spot yet, but it is literally one step removed from just a map just like this, where I can click on a pin, right? And instead of giving just a random like identification key, I get their name, their address, their photo, their date of birth. All of that information is there. All of that is there for every single one of these pins. It is in the leak. All because of this goofy little app that requires your photo identification for something that could have been handled by like a vetted, very good and known outside processor that handles all that information, but just wasn't. And so all of it is out. All of it is out now. And if I'm going to be so real, I would be very worried if I were any one of these people, because of the nature of this app, and especially the nature of the group who got the information. It's not good stuff. It is a very bad slew of things that have gone out to the public now that you don't want to be in there. You don't want to be a part of. I literally was in the process of transferring the video over to my computer so I could start editing, and I was just looking around and I found this website where I'm gonna have to like blur everything out here because I don't want to be showing like the leaked photos. But if I go back to the voting screen, all right, okay, cool, I can show one of them. Somebody made a website where you can click on which photo you prefer. It'll show you two photos from the leak, and you get to click which one you think is better than the other, and it ranks them on a leaderboard from bottom to top of who are the best, highest rating people from the leaks and who are the lowest rated people from the leaks. And it is getting active use. It is certainly getting active use. Whenever I first saw this, Dr. Pepper was ranked for the highest, but now it's pre-workout. And then there's of course the keyboard. I bet if I reload the page, yeah, you could see that one just switched too. So now the top 4 ranked on the photo, or the top 4 ranked on the website, are just random objects. Anyways, it's just absolutely diabolical. I have to include this a little bit. Okay, anyways, protect your information. Don't let this happen to you. Unfortunately, as the internet continues to grow and as like laws continue to be put in place, like in Texas, there's so many websites now that require my photo identification to access, and it's ridiculous because I'm like, I live in America. Why do I have to use a VPN to access these websites? I'm not giving you this information. I don't have to give you this information. I'm not going to. And so unfortunately, as time continues to pass, we're probably going to need like more and more identification to access like the majority of the internet, which unfortunately results in all of this information being so easy to grab because of instances like this. There are going to be so many more websites that require your identification and just are very poorly coded, especially since like AI is becoming so much of an important use or valuable resource for a lot of coding applications. Again, I have a lot of friends who are in, and I unfortunately forgot the name of what they're in. It's the profession where you code things that I just don't remember the name of. I don't remember. Anyways, a lot of them use ChatGPT for like a lot of what they do. They'll like say, hey, I need to do this, and then ChatGPT will give them like a big list of stuff, and then they'll like fix it up a lot of the time. but not everyone has the education to be able to like recognize what they're supposed to do, or even like, you know, we're moving towards a future where a lot of people aren't even going to get the education and they're just gonna upload whatever ChatGPT gives them. Not ChatGPT, why do I keep saying that? It's probably won't be ChatGPT, it'll probably be a specifically tailored service, or maybe it is ChatGPT, maybe it is. But there will be so many more of these websites that are just with a horrible code base that requires photo ID to use, and this information will get out. And the future will come where it is a horrible problem. Anyways, back to what I said either. Protect yourself, protect your information. If you made it to here, you should subscribe because I talk like this all the time. See you later. Bye.